My name is Aibek Samkov, and I'm a member of the initiative group called Suçular, the Waterers, and we have been supported by the Aygine Cultural Research Center that has done an amazing job in Kyrgyzstan on documenting traditional ecological knowledge and sacred sites. The reason we started looking into the local and indigenous indicators of climate change is because if you look at the decision making which is related to climate change, a lot of it is based on the models, on climate change models that have been developed elsewhere, primarily in the West, by scholars and scientists. And those climate change scenarios are used to predict different scenarios, right? What will happen to certain countries or to certain regions if the temperature rises by that much or temperature rises by this much. And the central and local governments have been using those or have been trying to use those scenarios and those findings to inform their decision making. First of all, it is a very good thing that they are trying to use the evidence-based approach to decision making, and we were not saying that those climate change models and climate change scenarios are wrong or anything, but one thing that we've noticed was that these climate change scenarios and climate change models mostly disregard traditional ecological knowledge and local indicators of climate change. And in order to show to the decision makers that maybe this indicator of climate change is more important for local people's livelihoods or for local people's safeguarding of their cultural heritage, we've designed this small ethnographic study where we went around Issyk Lake, which is the second largest high altitude lake in the world. And we've collected and we've documented the traditional knowledge related to climate and with a specific focus on local and indigenous indicators of climate change. And that research has shown that indeed local communities have much more intricate a set of indicators than the conventional climate change models usually take into account. So besides the changes in temperature, let's say changes in precipitation, the local communities also highlighted the changes in the vegetation. They've pointed out that some types or some species of grass which used to grow very well, they're not growing that well anymore, and there are other species of grass, for example, that didn't grow at all started growing. They've also pointed out some interesting indicators such as changes in the direction and strength of the wind, the changes in the direction and strength of the waves, as well as the direction, as well as the changes in the behavior of domestic livestock and wild species. For example, they've observed that the usual season of mating has shifted, and it is one of the indicators of climate change. And the conventional models of climate change, they do not usually take this into account. Another very important issue that local communities pointed out was that they've said that climate change is not a purely environmental issue, it is an environmental and cultural issue. So it was interesting to know that local communities have been linking the cultural change or the social change to the environmental change as well. And that was demonstrated with the example of sacred sites. And what we were told was that back in the day, our ancestors used to be very respectful and very caring towards sacred sites. However, currently, the more and more people start forgetting about sacred sites. They start neglecting sacred sites. They don't care about sacred sites. And in the views of local communities, this social change, this change of local people's attitude towards the environments, this loss of traditional knowledge, loss of values, is very much part of the climate change that we are having at the moment. And this is one of the main messages that we would try to communicate, that from the local people's perspective, social change and environmental change are interlinked. And when we talk about climate change, we cannot and we should not leave the people out. Thank you very much.